Thank you for tuning in to today's Be Blessed broadcast. Listen, I'm Apostle Campbell, and if you like this message you're about to hear, we ask that you would please like, subscribe, and share. Why? Because we want you to be a part of our Cyber Church family. Let's go into a service already in progress.
You got to be fully dressed. You can't forge ahead. Watch this. My point in that, Deaconess Yolanda, Sister Tracy, my point in all of that was just to say, you can't forge ahead if you're not fully persuaded. So Ephesians 6:12 says, watch this, for we are not fighting against. This is a tough one. I know you want to rush me through this, and I know, cause this where y'all are. I don't know if you really see the revelation in this. I don't know if you really see the revelation in this. I really don't think y'all see the revelation in this. Here it is. For we are not fighting against flesh and blood. We're not fighting against each other. You got to let this soak in. Got to let this soak in. Marriages are on the verge of divorce because you're too busy fighting each other. Your children are running crazy. Overseer and I was talking the other day, and I digress for just a moment. But daughter Sonia, I just believe I can whoop anything in prayer. I know everybody don't believe that. But I just believe, I don't have to prove to you that I'm stronger than you, or I can handle you, or I can beat you. I'm too old to do all that fighting. You better keep me in the spirit. Y'all better catch what I'm saying. I'm too old to do all that fighting. So I got to be fully dressed and stay fully dressed. Chavis, you know where I'm going. You better pray me through this here. You gotta stay fully dressed. I remember, I thank God overseers stay fully dressed. God knows I do. Sonia, we was in the airport getting ready to get, because I make a nervous Ned anytime I'm getting on the plane. Because I like to be there at least 2.5 hours before. I hate spending all this money and miss my plane. Then I got to depend on somebody else to see if I can get a seat in another plane. I don't want to do all that. I remember one time we were in the airport, and I thank God she's fully dressed. Because I told her, I told her I wouldn't have passed that one right there. I wouldn't have passed that one right there. Tracy, your pastor, your sister, big sister was in the section reading, in the stores, in the airport they have bookstores. She's reading a book, and a lady literally, I don't even know if you remember this. Oh, okay. This lady, kind brother, literally all this big old store could have walked around her. It was a demon. Walked right like through her. And by the time my eyes showed me what I saw, first of all, I kind of paused because I was thinking, I know you just didn't do what I thought you just did. Then it dawned on me that you just disrespect. And Kyrie, I wasn't in the spirit on the Lord's Day. I'm trying to tell y'all got to catch me on the Lord's Day. Tracy, she grabbed, it's okay. Woo! I literally had to start. She said to me, she says, listen, man of God, your assignment is bigger than your distractions. That's a word for somebody right there, Kim. That's a word for somebody. Your assignment is bigger than your distractions. So I said all of that to just say that you gotta be fully dressed. I go back to the 12th verse because you need to understand that I'm not in a fight against flesh and blood. But I realize it's against an evil ruler. Rulers, authorities of the unseen world. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Now watch this. Against mighty powers in this dark world, against evil spirits in the heavenly places. Majority of your fight, son, is in the supernatural realm and not in the physical realm. Let me tell you, if you stop fighting in the spirit, it's only a matter of time before you're going to start resigning in the natural. Come on, Apostle. Yes. Many of you think I resign in the natural and then I'm going to be okay in the spirit. Can I help y'all? That is one of the most stupidest things that one could ever do. You telling God, I'm going to cut back from doing this for you. Now, I ain't talking about nobody. Now, if you take it that way, that's on you. But Elder Drew, you can help somebody to testify about that one. That young man came to me one month and one day told Pastor and I'm going to step back from ministry. I'm not going to fight you. Because if I got to fight you to stay in ministry, I got to fight to keep you in ministry. But only thing I did was pray. Elder Satina, he bumped his head and drunk some good coffee one morning and said, Apostle and Pastor, I need to get back in ministry because I noticed that when I'm away from ministry, it keeps me from doing and being at peace with God and my family. The devil is strategic, Jah. If he can get you to think that I don't qualify. I only sit here today not because I'm a perfect man. I sit here today because of the grace of my God. I don't naturally qualify to be an apostle of the Lord's church. With my mood swings and my attitudes, I'll be the first to resign. But he says, I'll take the foolish thing. I don't call those who got it together. I'm calling those that are liars and those that are cheaters and those that are murderers and those that are backbiters and those that are whoremongers. I wish I had a real church now. I'm not looking for the perfect. I'm looking for those that are willing and obedient. All right. You can't forge ahead looking backwards. Overseer, I'm thinking about how, real quick, go to Romans 8 real quick. And I'll let Overseer do the exegetical teaching in the New Old Testament with the book of Joshua. But go to Romans chapter 8 real quick. I want to show you something because I hear somebody right now. I hear you. Go to Romans 8. Look at verse 31 real quick because I want to show you something real quick in Romans 8:31 for you who think that, you got to be perfect and you got to have all this right. Look what he says. Look what he says. He says, because the problem with this we are allowing life to separate us. We are allowing, just because you got laid off your job don't mean God don't love you. Because if I be honest, I can take a poll in here today, and some of you, you baby boomers and some of you older folks, y'all know you've been laid off jobs before. Okay, y'all act like you ain't never been laid off. I know I have. Whether you want to call it laid off or fired, it don't make a difference. They both the same. You ain't working no more. Nah, they don't care how you slice it up, peanut butter and jelly is still peanut butter and jelly. Whether you got ends of the bread or the middle of the bread, it's still the same thing. But we are allowing life. So what, you got laid off? You still move forward. Well, they repossessed my car. I was reminiscing last night with overseer. All the cars we had. I remember that one car they repossessed. I jumped up out of bed in Compton with my gun, about to shoot the repo man. Until I realized his guns was bigger than my one gun. I told him, take that car and have a nice day. I'll get another one. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? So what, they repossessed your car? You know you couldn't afford it no way. You got it, and the only reason why they repossessed it because you wasn't making payments. I wish somebody talked to me. They don't repossess cars that are being paid for. I'm not calling Deacon Moore and asking him, can I borrow your car in the garage, put my car in your garage for about 3 months until I catch you hiding the car that they want to repossess. Can I talk to somebody that's trying to forge ahead? I have to teach you this way because sometimes you don't understand the these and thous. But watch what it says in verse 31. What shall we say about such wonderful things as these? If God is for us, who can be against us? Yes. Mighty God. The problem with forging ahead is you're not fully persuaded that God is for us. Now, I'm going to throw overseer in here. And if we get to Joshua, we'll get there. If we don't, we got next Sunday. Don't worry about it. Overseer. She got that look like, no, we didn't. I'm finna throw it on her now. Turn your mic on, honey. Amen. You said something yesterday when we were dialoguing, because we talked. I need you to rewind that for these people in here today. I know it. We were talking about the place of sustainability. You remember what you said? I know we be talking so much and the Lord be downloading stuff. I'm going to have to get a recorder. But you understand what I'm talking about? Yes. You got it? Yeah. You sure? Okay. Now watch this. If God is for us and we are sincerely moving ahead. Now I got to throw this Drew at him, okay? Can I throw this at him real quick? Sidebar, okay? Sidebar, okay? Y'all been sitting under us for 25 years. Hold on, don't clap, Josh. Don't clap, Josh. Don't clap, Josh, because they gonna get I'm about to let the air out. They tired, so don't pump them up and then let them down. They gonna be on all four flats in a minute. Watch this. How many of you all, talking to my men now, mighty men of blessings, and you single men. Yes. How many of you all sit down and have a vision for where you taking your family for 2024? Don't you raise your hand because I don't want you to embarrass me or you. How can you move ahead, Deacon Moore? Deacon Gerald Williams in training? How can you move ahead if you have no vision? Minister Demetrius, how could you tell Stephanie and the boys we're going to do this if you don't sit down and have a vision? Deacon Watson, how could you forge ahead if we don't? Because you know what? You complain about your spouses being Jezebels, Tracy, I knew I was going to get in trouble. Sometimes I don't like starting first because I better mess them up. The problem with us is I believe that strong wife you have is only as strong as you've allowed her to be through the years. Because if you don't have a vision, man of God, son of God, thank you for the one son that's standing up, you are bound to perish. How can you tell that woman and that child you're going to follow me as I follow Christ and you haven't even checked in with him? I don't care about y'all getting wind on your cheek. I promise you ain't going to come up here and do nothing. Where there is no vision, the people is going to perish. Your family is going to perish. And if your woman, your wife, your boo, your bae the only one reading the Bible and you don't have no vision of where God is taking the family, don't get mad when she take the bull by the horns and say, this is what we gonna do. Waiting all the way till June talking about I got the vision. No, you ought to have been praying last year about it. But let me help some of my daughters. Don't you lose your vision. Because the one you're with don't have a vision. Y'all ain't got to say amen. Daughter Steph, you got to keep your vision better be 2020. Because if you with somebody that don't have vision, both of y'all going to be in the ditch somewhere. I hope I made some of my sons good and mad with me today. To the point to where you take yourself home and you go write that vision down and say, girl, sit down here while we're eating chicken, black-eyed peas, and cornbread with some okra in it. I want you to sit down here and hear this vision God gave me. I don't expect Dr. Shaun to lead me. You got to be out of your mind. Not that she can't lead me, but the type of woman she is, she's not looking to be the one to have to know the vision, write the vision, prepare the vision, talk to me to believe in the vision, work with me to work the vision, come on and drag me to the vision. No, you better get up and say, Lord, okay, you listen to me. I'm passionate about this. Yo, how we forging ahead and you don't know where you're going. Jonathan, Kyrie, Shaun, Lil Derry, well, he's DJ, I guess. Josh, you all need vision. You know why some of you young'uns having problems? I'm talking about you young men. You know why some of us young men have problems? It's because we don't have nobody provoking us to see straight. And I beat myself up, kind brother, for years. I come in here to a family fellowship and pastor got over 35 women in here and I'm only talking to 4 men. And God showed me the reason why the men don't show up is because they got a lack of trust. They got trust issues. They got communication problems. They got vision problems. I told my daughter Nasa, you don't got to beg everybody in your house to come to church. You just get yourself up and you go if you got to go by yourself. The joy of the Lord got to be your strength. I can't afford for you to mess up. Steph, if Greg come or not, girl, you better get here. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? This thing is serious. And if you don't wake up and start taking this assignment serious, daughter, you're going to look up and it's going to be gone and you ain't going to have nothing to show for it. Look what it says. If God is for us, who can ever be against us? Now watch this. Since he did not spare even his own son, but gave him up for us all, won't he also give us? I'm trying to find the right one. Come on, brothers, let the wind out your cheek and get back in the service. You holding on to stuff, that's some of your problem. You hold on to stuff too long. Let it go. I'm just trying to help you get where I got and do what I do. You see, that's the problem with mentorship. I know I'm all over the place this morning, but I feel happy. That's the problem of mentorship. People want to be mentored, but don't want the truth in the mentorship. The mentee cannot mentor the mentor. Who do you listen to? Have I got a witness? I went back to the Baptist church. I got to do something to get you to say something because you're looking funny. Get with me now. What am I saying to you is that we're trying to move ahead. And it's difficult. If David don't have a vision for seeing more than him kicking the soccer ball and getting his little AA degree, he ought to see himself outside of his house. Kyrie, how old are you? 23. You should have a bigger vision than seeing yourself stand in your mom and daddy's house at 23. When I was 23, I was gone, driver's license, married. I was out. I was gone. I was 6 years. I was doing me. Lord, I wish I had a real church right here. Some of you need to help your children. If you ever study the eagle and the eaglet, when the female eagle has eaglets, they make it comfortable in the first few months of the little eaglet's time in the earth. But the mother now goes and reroutes the nest. And she takes the pokey or the thorns and stick them up, Stacy, so that when the eaglet goes to try to fly, when it comes back, Stacy, it's going to poke them. In other words, it's making them uncomfortable in the nest. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Some of you can't forge ahead because you're making it too comfortable for them. We talked about that yesterday too. We where we are because our parents, they made it comfortable, but it wasn't that comfortable where we can be grown and still come in any time of the night. I know that's how some of y'all raise your children. I was grown. Kyrie, I was driving. But at a certain time, it was made very clear. You're going to be in this house by this certain time. Kyrie, I was 5 minutes past time. Mr. Campbell met me at the door. Talking about my father, Gregory Campbell Sr. And he said one thing to me, and it stuck with me all my life. My son heard it in many days. 2 kings can't rule the same castle. I'm the only king in this castle. And when I give you a time, you better be in this house. As a matter of fact, give yourself grace and get here at least 10 to 15 before that time. If you can't abide by that rule, I'm sorry to tell you, son. You got to get your stuff and get out of here. That's voluntarily. If you late, you ain't got to worry about coming in and get your stuff. Because your stuff going to be outside. Locks on the door will be changed. See, now y'all looking at me, Chavis, they looking at me kind of funny right now. Thank you, Jenkins, for standing up to have my back, because some of them look like, I don't like that. That's what's wrong with your children now. They can't forge ahead because they depending on you too much. Why do I need God and I got you? You are my God. That's good. What's your name, kind brother? Apostle Williams, thank you so kindly. He said that's good. In other words, he's bearing witness to the truth. What I'm telling y'all today is you got to learn how to, let's go back to the basics. The problem with forging ahead, Gerald, is it's a danger in it. Why is it dangerous? Because we're talking kingdom. And this is what I shared with Overseer driving yesterday, Tracy. The dangerous thing for me is we're trying to teach people a new way of thinking. And you fighting us. So what we talked about in the car, if you can remember, I went on a tangent. Yeah. But you still got it? Okay. I want you to talk about how, because where I'm going is not in Joshua. This is the Holy Ghost talking to somebody. But what I'm saying, Overseer, is that we get in a place where we know that Joshua and Caleb were the 2 out of the 12 spied out the land. It's amazing how 12 can go out, but 2 can come back with a positive report. Now, when I got that, you were talking and you said that it's at the place of provision where God will sustain. You remember that? Mm-hmm. I'm saying that to say some of us can't go into that land of promise because we're not ready to occupy it because we don't have what it takes to sustain us. So 11-day journey, I believe you told us, ends up being a 40-year thing. Why? Because they had the promise of the land, but they weren't ready to occupy. What disqualified them from occupying is because, watch this, daughter, they wanted to go spy it out. You missed it. Gerald, God didn't tell them to go and spy it out. He told them to go and possess the land. It was already given to you. Watch this, Shay. But when we start trying to think like God is wrong when he said what he said, we try to help him out, and now they all saw the same thing, Sandra Farley. They all saw that, man, this land do flow with milk and honey. They all 12 of them can be on consensus with that. But the problem was when they started seeing what was in the land, who occupied it. That's why I was trying to get to.
Amen.
Talk to me about that.
Amen, Apostle. I'm just gathering what you're talking about in terms of God promoting us and being able to be in a place to receive the promotion.
Yes.
God had already promised his people to give them this land. He made a covenant, an agreement,
yes.
not a contract,
yes.
with Abram,
yes.
then at the time, and later Abraham. He made a covenant to every place his foot that he would give him, that his seeds will be as great as the stars in the sky. And because God is a covenant-keeping God, God does not renege on his promises. The reality is, and I think we also spoke about it as well in our minister and training meeting on Friday. We were talking about the completeness of faith. That faith is two or dual in nature. We often just think that faith is if I believe God. Well, we read that in the book of James, that demons believe and they tremble too. So we're not doing anything good when we believe. I mean, even a demon, an imp, a devil believes the power of God, and they know it to be real. But we talked about the duality of faith, that faith is not just believing, but is also activating the faith. That James even writes and says that our faith is not even complete. He says that we have superficial faith, that it's useless, it's vain. He says it's a vain for you to believe that faith without works is dead. You're wasting your time. In other words, you can believe that there is one God, and that's good for you. But the demons also believe, and we were talking about the duality of faith, that faith, not only you need to believe, but there needs to be some works, some corresponding actions, some activation of what it is that you say that you believe. And James says, you said you have faith and I have works. You show me your faith without your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works. James is writing, the brother of Jesus is writing to say, I'm going to show you what I believe by what I do. You never have to tell me, Kiana, what you believe. I know what you believe by the choices you make. So because your actions tell off on you. Your actions tell off on you. And so when God begins to bless his people and he is ushering them out of 430 years of bondage, we're dealing with a mindset that has been embedded for over 4 centuries. So this is like somebody coming to tell you you're not an African American. As long as I've been in this earth suit, that's the only race I know. So for you to come along and try to persuade me that I'm anything other than an African American, it's going to be very challenging to get me to change my mind, because I don't know anything else other than I've been told I'm an African American. So if we've been in our temples for 55 years, 60 years, 70 years, God forbid 80, 90, and we're trying to transform our thinking, sometimes it is almost an impossibility if the person is not willing, Shaun, to change. We talked about that today in 2 Corinthians 8, if there first be a willing mind. So they wanted to come out of Egypt when it was difficult. Anytime that the pressure is on us, we want something different. Anytime the going gets tough, we want something different. At least we think we do, until it's time for us to do something about what we think we wanted. I want a new job, but then you telling me I have to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if I want that job now. I want a new job, but you telling me I have to work on weekends. I don't know if I want that job. I want to be married, but then you told me that the husband is the head of the wife just as Christ is the head of the church. I don't know if I want somebody trying to tell me and lead me and telling me my covering and Abraham was called Lord by Sarah. I don't know if I'm feeling all of that. And you talking about marriage is about giving of yourself. It's about serving somebody and you spending a life of being a helpmeet to them, and you got to do all the domesticated stuff, and you got to honor him, and girl, you got to shut your mouth sometime and let the Lord. I don't know if I want to be married. Sometimes I'm selfish. I want to land my whole cow king by myself, and I don't feel like getting up making nobody no breakfast. I want somebody to make me some breakfast. I don't know that I want to wash your clothes. Wash your own clothes. I mean, I don't know that if I want to prepare your meal, make me a meal. I just may not be married. I thought I wanted to be married until you told me all I had to do to get married.
Right.
And some of us, you ought to be thanking God didn't nobody have no premarital counseling with you, because you wouldn't have been married if you'd have known what it was cracked up to be from the very beginning. Now, it does have its perks on you, but all of that I have to do, I thought I wanted to be married when I saw apostle and pastor smiling all the time for 35 years. We think we want something, Teresa, until it's time for us to do the part B of faith to get what we thought we wanted. I said I wanted a car, but you didn't tell me it came with a car note. It came with maintenance. You didn't tell me that the gas was going to be $5.79 at Chevron. You didn't tell me I had to pay a monthly stipend every month for insurance. Sometimes I don't drive and I still have to pay insurance. I got to get new tires because the weather condition. I'd rather just ride the bus. See, we think we want things, Kev, until we have to follow up with the corresponding actions, Mother. Why do you think there are people who drive up to their encampments, Mother Chris? I don't want no house. Why would I want to pay Mr. Cooper, the Bank of America, Chase Bank, when I can get me a hot and a cot and a tent that's free? You go out and you try to help some folk out there, they don't want a mortgage payment. I'm not trying to be beholden to no insurance and cleaning no house and be up in no mausoleum and having to tend to this and dust that and clean that and mop this and pay the SCE, the gas, the water, the Spectrum, the light, the Verizon. When I can pull up over here on 7th and I may not get as much peace as you get, but at the end of the month, ain't nobody sending me no mortgage for no $1,800. I never get a bill from SCE. I never get a gas bill from the gas company. Spectrum never say your internet is not working. I don't have internet. Everybody don't want what we think we want, particularly when it comes down to having to honor our part of what we thought we wanted. Deacon, this is where the children of Israel were. They only got mad, Sonia, because Pharaoh got a little ticked with Moses and they were making mortar without straw. By reason of this taskmaster, we over here, God raised up a deliverer, God. You know what we do when our back is up against the wall. I'm tired of this. See, you got to get sick and tired before you really get sick and tired of something. Sometimes many of us got to literally get sick and tired before we realize I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being poor. I'm tired of not having enough money. I'm tired of having more money than month. I'm tired of ends not meeting. I'm tired of borrowing. God, you got to do something. You got to do something. Man of God, and God said, I'm going to do something, but you have to do something too.
Whoa.
And this is the part where most of us lose it, because we want God to do it all, but we don't want to do anything. They cried out to God and they said they wanted to be delivered. God raises up Moses. Let me remind you, in case those of you don't know, Moses was doing well before God called him. Moses was minding his business, tending to his bag, getting his coin, and he wasn't even an Egyptian.
Come on.
He was laying in the lap of luxury, had the maids, the girls feeding him grapes, had somebody fanning him with big feathers, had his feet kicked up. When it was hot in the Mojave Desert and all of the heat, somebody was fanning him in the palace. So for God to call him in the middle of their cry, Moses can look and say, I was inconvenienced.
Right.
And he could say that because when he started trying to help them, they start trying to hurt him. God, why are you calling me to help them and they trying to kill me? You sent me here to help them. I was minding my business. Moses is trying to contend with Pharaoh, the one he only saw as his father. This is the only man he knew, and in some very basic element, I can imagine he felt like he owed Pharaoh. This man raised me up since I was a baby. And you're telling me to go and fight with him for these people that's fighting me? Sometimes we don't understand what's on the line when we're asking God for things. We don't know the shifts that God moves, the people he inconveniences, the people he take out their comfort zone, the stuff he makes shut down, the windows he's opening, the doors he's closed. You don't even realize what you asking God for and the lengths God have to go through to get you your blessing, for him to get it to you, and then you renege when God brings it to your doorstep, because the king's heart is in God's hand, and like the rivers of water, he'll turn it in whatever direction he will. And when God answers your prayer, how dare you sit and bind your fist and tell God, I changed my mind. I don't know if I want to start my business now. When I didn't inconvenience Moses, Aaron, Joshua, Caleb, all these people you don't even know about, and turned their heart towards you to help you, and then when the help comes, you don't want to do it no more. Oh, we got to stop vacillating with God. And you got to be careful about what you asking for, because you just might get it. And in your getting what you ask God for, you don't know who God is inconveniencing in order to be a blessing to you. God raises Moses up. And he's getting ready to help and deliver them and take them out of bondage, to a place a promise. We talked about this in, I think, MIT, I don't know. We talked about what's called the doctrine of soteriology, the school of ministry, which the doctrine of soteriology means the doctrine of salvation. And I'm going here because we know we've been saved from something. But soteriology is not what you're just saved from. It's what you're saved from and what you're saved to do. Many of us just want to be delivered out of Egypt, but we have no intentions on going into our Canaan. Until you leave Egypt and get to Canaan, your salvation is not complete. So what, you ain't in the crack houses no more, but you're still not walking in purpose and destiny. So what, you're not turning tricks no more, but you're still not walking in purpose and destiny. So what, you're not in an abusive relationship, but you're not telling your testimony to nobody else to help them get delivered. So what, God brought you out of the muck and the miry clay, but he's also set and established your feet on something greater, and you refuse to accept that assignment because you don't want to pay the forward cost. Look at your neighbor and tell him, you got to pay it forward. You have to pay it forward. We want to take the payment, but we don't want to pay it forward. We like it when somebody else buy our coffee, but we don't want to buy anyone else's coffee. We like it when somebody else buy our groceries, but we don't want to buy anyone else's groceries. It's talking about the doctrine of soteriology. And when they left out of Egypt to go into Canaan, when they start backpedaling to get into Canaan, their salvation wasn't complete. Yeah, God brought them out of Egypt, but he was trying to take them to the place of promise. And some of us abort the blessing because when we start looking over at Canaan, it's going to cost us something. I can sit here and say, T, I have this for you right here. I can sit and I said, T, this is for you. The only reason T won't come and get this is either she don't believe that I'm going to give it to her. Help me, Denise. Help me out, Denise. I'm telling you, I'm giving you this. She either, now you see, she came and got it. The The only reason why she wouldn't come and get it is if she thought she can walk up here and I would not honor what I said I was going to do. That's what many believers are. You don't believe God. So you never move in the direction of the promised land. You never move to come and get the offering. Even though I showed it to you, you do know that they went over and spied the land for 40 days, don't you? You do know God showed them the money. You do know God said it is a Benjamin on a Benjamin. It is a Grant on a 50. It is a Jackson on a 20. You know he did show them the money, and then he said, come and get it. It wasn't like he didn't show them the money, Deacon. He showed them the money because they came back and said, yeah, God, this thing is true. That land surely is filled with milk and honey. Yeah, we brought these big old grape back, and it take 2 men for us to carry 1 cluster of grape. God, you sure told the truth about that. God done showed many of us the money. The only reason we won't get the money is you don't believe that when you come to get it, I won't give it to you because God just showed it to you. And if you say, oh, I believe overseer, God gonna give you, too lazy to come up and get it. He could have just stood right there. You either don't believe or you're too lazy to move from where you are to come and get it. So Moses had assisted them in leaving, and they had to do very little to nothing to leave. This is the problem with many of us. God delivers us from a system, and many of us do nothing. God's doing most of the work. And God is mindful of that because he's mindful that our minds need to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. He understands even though he has taken us out of Egyptians, we're still thinking like Egyptians. He's mindful of us like that. He's mindful that we are conducting ourselves in such a way because we've been embedded in a system for so long that it's hard to shift our thinking. He's mindful of that. But how long will you continue like that thinking that God's grace is going to abound? You can't keep blaming on that forever. So God is long suffering with us. He tolerates us. He puts up with us while we're in the midst of our minds being transformed. They're coming out of Egypt, the start of their soteriology, but they have to go into Canaan to complete the work. God delivers us from the muck and miry clay, and he brings us from sin to the cross. He brings us to salvation with God. Do you not know that Jesus and Joshua are similar? Joshua's a type of Christ. That Jesus in the Greek is the same as Joshua in the Hebrew. And Joshua himself represents Christ as a deliverer. That God has brought them and taken them to a place God never intended to bring them out of Egypt and leave them in the wilderness. That's where many believers are. You may not be as bad as you were, but you're not as good as you can be. And some of us are comfortable with that. You've left Egypt and you're suspended in the wilderness. Many of us, wilderness represents a place of testing.
I hope and pray this message has been a blessing to you. And listen, once again, just as a reminder, we ask that you would please like and share and invite your family and friends to tune in to the next Be Blessed broadcast. And remember, we're going from border to border and coast to coast and around the world. And we spread the gospel just like a blanket. On behalf of Overseer Dr. Shaun Campbell and myself, remember, we want you to be blessed. Till next time, God bless.